Cool. So beyond that,
Let's go.
as I always normally do, I'm gonna start the first 10 minutes from now. So we're gonna end at 6:07. Am I right? No, 6:0 plus 10. Yeah, 6:07 p.m. What have you guys done in the past few days? I want to call out somebody out here, maybe one or two people here who are comfortable with sharing what you guys have done in the past few days in terms of copywriting or sales or acquiring clients. Anyone here wants to open up? Let me know, and I'll bring you. I'll bring you up on the class. Anyone here want to share anything related to copywriting, related to things that you do? Okay, so no questions first. Just things about what you've done in the past few days or for the past week in terms of copywriting, in terms of closing a client, or in terms of sales, marketing, whatever it is. Anyone here wants to open up? Nobody? None? Nobody? Nobody? Really? Cool. So going once, guys. Going twice. Going 3 times. Cool. So okay, so nobody actually can share anything revolving around marketing or sales. So my question here, guys, is this: who here has seen me for the first time? I'm just curious how many beginners are actually here. Who here is seeing me for the first time? You don't know what I do, what you're going to learn here. If that's you, put me in the chat new, the word new on the chat. So I'm not, okay. Everyone. All right, yeah, so we got 1. How many else? Me first time, 2, new, 3. Okay, is that everyone? 4. Okay, is that everybody? All right, cool. Nobody else? All right, so if you've seen me already in the past before, and you've gone through my copywriting classes in my past before, maybe in my marketing, maybe it's sales, how do I say this? Drop the word familiar in the chat. So I'll do it first. Familiar, right? Okay, so 1, 2. Hey Jet, Jet's here. I know Jet as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, everyone's familiar for where I'm at. Cool. And hey Jet, familiar since day one. Okay, we got someone who's pretty loyal right here. Cool. So guys, if you guys have been familiar of what I've been doing, you guys pretty much know that my philosophy when I'm doing mentorship programs is real. Right. So you guys know that one of the main philosophies is that it's fine. If you guys miss some of my classes, that's fine. My class is always repetitive and it's circular, which means that I'm always going to be covering different kinds of phases of my mentorship program. Not my mentorship program, but my coaching classes, right? Now, my goal here, guys, is to make sure that everyone here is actually taking action and things that you guys should do. Simply because the online space right now is one of the most exciting opportunities if you actually take action really fast. So my philosophy here is, if you're spending 1 hour doing something or learning something from a video, someone's not muted. Can you help me mute that? So my philosophy is this: knowledge takes you nowhere. Knowledge plus action takes you everywhere, right? And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because everything that you're learning here in Quick Pro is useless. It's absolutely useless if you don't do anything about it. And I'm always saying that with each and every single one of my mentees, and my mentors have always shared that with me as well. Now, my question is for those people, and it's fine as well, because if sometimes you have some mindset problems where you feel like you're not good enough, maybe you're not sure about what to do in X, Y, Z. My question is here for you guys. Bring your hands up. Who here wants to become a copywriter, and who here has actually started to understand my NSB already, who have gone through my NSB classes? If that's you, drop the words me on the chat. if you want to become a copywriter, you've gone through my previous classes. Okay. Just real good. There's a lot of you. Cool. Now, with it said, quite curious. Are you guys shy that you guys haven't, are you guys shy that are you guys shy of sharing what you guys have been through in the past few days or weeks in terms of copywriting or marketing or sales? Because we've pretty much done a few classes already, and I want you guys to start implementing things that you're learning from me. Because okay, Jezreel. That's interesting. So we're gonna dig deep a little bit. Jezreel opened up, really difficult to get a client. We'll dig in that real quick. Aside from that, who here has kind of any difficulties in terms of copywriting? Maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe you don't know what to do next. I'm opening this up for you guys for the first 10 minutes of my class. Nobody? Opening up. What have you guys done? Did you guys do some... Okay, so not Jet, but Jezreel started to reach out to clients. We'll dig deep a little bit in that. So guys, I'm gonna ask the question one last time. What can anyone share what you guys have pretty much done in terms of copywriting? Maybe it's reading a sales letter. Maybe it's clicking on things. Maybe it's researching about copywriting. Maybe it's writing in a practice email. Maybe it's anything. If that's you, let me know, and let's see where you guys are at. Nobody? Cool. Heba, do you want to share, Heba? They needed case studies. Anyone want to share? Heba, is that you? I can unmute you if you want. Or Jezreel, if you want to unmute as well. Just posting. Product MVP. Okay, cool. Let's dive deep in that. Heba, would you be comfortable if you have a quick conversation on what's been going on in your world in terms of like what you've been doing in terms of product posting a product in FB? Let me know if you're comfortable in sharing with the class, and I'll unmute you, and then we'll dive deep in that.
Hi.
Cool. Hey, can you hear me? I hope I'm not butchering your name, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Tell me more about what you've been doing.
I have a small business. I have a product, and I just have a Facebook page, and I just keep on posting it on Facebook and on Shopee, and just basic posting, basic copywriting.
Okay.
Mixed Tagalog or English. I don't really. I want to be better. That's why I'm here, because I know that I could get more sale if if catchy yung content ng post.
100%. Cool. So kudos to you as well, Heba, for actually taking action on some copy as well. And I always say with everyone that you'll never learn what good copy is unless you guys put it out there and if people respond on your copy. So whatever you guys do, what I also do is on Facebook, okay? On Facebook, I post stuff on my Facebook. What I mean stuff, I post stories on my Facebook. I practice writing and then I post it in Facebook just to see how other people react on it. Now, the thing about copywriting is that you just really can't get good in copywriting if you're afraid of rejection. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
You cannot get good in copy if you're afraid of rejection, both for your clients and for yourself as well. And so many people here are scared of rejection because as you go and progress along the lines of copy, it doesn't matter what you write. It doesn't matter if you're writing for a product. It doesn't matter if you're writing for a client's coaching program. It doesn't matter if you're writing for an e-commerce, whatever it is. It doesn't matter if you're writing for emails. What's going to happen is that if you do not overcome this fear of rejection or or perfectionism in this online space, you guys will never improve. because your mindset right now, or your fear of rejection or fear of failure, are the handbrakes that will never get you to become better at a copy. If that makes sense. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because I want to set expectations first of like what could you expect from copy as well, because just like everything else, a lot of people, for every opportunity and for every skill that you guys will start working on, there's always an upside and a downside. In marketing, it's just a magnification of the upside. So in marketing, I'm just like trying to like highlight the strengths and like the better parts, but I'm not trying to highlight, the downsides of it. Does that make sense for everyone? And that's marketing, right? So essentially, it's outclassing the other competition. There's so much into it. But in terms of copywriting, guys, once you overcome this, once you overcome, share screen. Once you guys overcome this fear of rejection, the next thing is to start putting as much copy as you can and start learning what works and what doesn't work, right? But of course, you guys don't know that yet. But we'll start laying the foundations. So for this class, it's going to be for intermediate, meaning this is not really intermediate, but beginners. It's not for beginners because we're still laying the foundations, right, for copywriting, right? I've shared about the NESB for my other students already. I will circle back from the start, but I'm going to continuing about from where most of the students have picked up on the last class, which is the NESB, right? New, easy, safe, and big, right? Cool. Is everyone still following me? For the people who have gone through my classes where I was talking about the NESB, or the new, easy, safe, and big, if you are still following me on that and what we've discussed in the previous class is still fresh, hit me up with the word, comment the word let's go on the chat. So I'll know that you guys are ready to take this to the next level and start seeing how that NESB is being implemented and how you guys can start writing copy. Okay, again, comment the word let's go on the chat so I'll know. 1, 2, okay, cool. When we get to 10, we'll start. 1, 2, only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all. Or 7. I'm counting to 10. Is this everyone else? 1, 8. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 2 more. I need 2 more before I continue, because unless unless if you guys don't, I'm gonna assume that everyone here is beginners, and we're gonna have to pivot for beginners. All right, cool. So let's do it. So a quick background. Anyone who has questions, guys, in my mentorship program, even in my copywriting intensive, whatever it is, I always believe in helping each other out. So as you can see, there are other people here who are asking about what's NESB. Anyone here who knows what NESB is, please feel free to reach out to them privately and then reply to them, right? So I will not have to regurgitate what's going on. Is that cool for everyone? Right now, I want to keep going on the next level up. So if anyone here wants to reply to those people out there who's asking about what's NESB, please feel free to reply to them via chat, and then we can move forward from there. Is that cool for everyone? Right? So with that said, I'm gonna start getting inside using my participants. Invite link. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Cool. So, all right. So I'm gonna share my screen on my. I'm gonna share my screen on my iPad, guys. So let me know if you can see my screen with my iPad. Share screen. All right. So if you can see my screen, let me know if you can see my screen right now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, coach.
Awesome. Okay, let's do it. Right. So cool. Now, the thing about this is that, let me see. All right. Right. So you guys can pretty much see my screen, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I've given you guys what NESV is, right? NE is new, E is easy, S is safe, and then B is big, right? Now, these are the foundations to the core of really good direct response copy. And the reason we share this with you guys is that you guys need to have a translator and a guideline or your lighthouse that will guide you on, are you writing good copy or are you just writing copy that's actually boring? Does that make sense? Right? Now, the difference between why a person actually, or why a business owner would actually write copy, hire a copywriter, is that a copywriter can actually communicate in a better way, wherein, not like a better way, but a copywriter can communicate something to the customers of that business owner in a way that will get the customers to do whatever the business, make decisions that are in favor of the business. Okay, so whether that's either paying for a product, whether that's giving them their contact details, whether that's referring to people or whatever it is, whether that's soliciting, whatever it is, a copywriter can communicate something, an idea or a promo or whatever it is to the business, to the client's target market in a way that, you know, the business owner cannot, right? That means that this NESB right here is your founding, this is your guideline on whether am I writing great copy or am I writing something that's actually boring that no one would actually even care, right? So are you guys following me? Cool. Now, for you guys to write copy, the thing is, how do you make money writing copy? That's a big question that a lot of people have. And there's two ways to make money as a copywriter, right? It's either that you're an offer, a product, or business owner, or you're hired to write for the offer, the product, or the business owner. Does that make sense for everyone? Those are the only two ways that you can make money as a copywriter. It's either that you are the offer owner or you own the offer, you are the business owner and you're writing copy for your business, or you have a product and you own the product, or you're selling the actual product and you're writing for that product, right? That's one way to make money as a copywriter. The second way to make money as a copywriter is to help these people and then get them to pay you in exchange for your services as a copywriter. Does that make sense for everyone? Right? Are you guys following me? Now, before I continue, are there any questions? None? Okay. Beautiful. Yes, I get it. Now, the key here to become really successful at is you need to understand first, what is your point A and what is your point B in copywriting? What do I mean by that? Why do you want to get into copywriting? Do you just want to make money? Are you attached to a product or a business? That's why you want to write copy for that product or for that business? Or is it because you want to get connected to a certain person or whatever it is? Does that make sense for everyone? You need to be very clear first of what is your outcome for writing copy. And then you can then create your own game plan, your own set of steps that you can follow to achieve, to go from point A to point B. So point A is where you are right now. Whether you've written copy in the past before, you're completely clueless, whether you're looking for a way to get a monthly sustainable income, that's your current point A. Your point B is where you want to go. Are you guys following me? Point A, point B. The goal here is to first identify what's your point B and getting clear on your point A. Okay? What is your point A? Do you have connections? Do you know anyone who is a business owner? Or in fact, do you actually even have a business right now that might need some help with copy? So you're learning how to write copy for your business so that you can then scale your business to a new level. Is everyone following me? Okay, is everyone following me? And
Yes,
Coach.
okay, now the next thing here is I want this class to be interactive. Okay, being shy and being scared to put yourselves out there, being scared to write your comments or to ask questions because you think it's a stupid question is the perfect way to fail. All right. And I always say this with all of my mentees and all of my students and everyone who I've worked with in the past before. The moment you start judging yourself because you think this question is stupid, or because you're a beginner, because you're maybe thinking that, what if the other students might be mad at my question because I'm such a beginner, is the perfect way to fail. Okay. Don't judge that. This place here is for learning. Everyone here is here to, everyone here is a student. Even I'm a student. I have mentors as well who make millions and millions of dollars every month. And so I get help from them. But instead of actually running away and not asking questions and not becoming interactive, I actually go to my mentors and actually ask help from them. That's how I was able to grow really fast. So before I continue this class, can you guys promise me that whenever you have any question, whenever you have anything that you want, it's popping to your brain right now, no matter how irrelevant or how stupid you think it is, you will not feel shy. You will not judge yourself for actually asking questions. And instead, you will ask questions and you will be interactive in this class.
Yes,
okay, because you do not want to fail. Give me a yes in the chat and we'll continue. Okay, cool. And guys, the reason I'm sharing this is because I don't want anyone here to the thing about mentorship programs or the thing about coaching programs is that your coaches cannot help you if you refuse help. And sometimes it's not because you are refusing help, it's just because you're shy to actually ask for help, right? And I don't want you guys to come from that place. So I'm really here to get you guys so that it's okay to ask questions. It doesn't matter wherever everyone is. Just ask questions. And now that we're all on the same page on that, let's continue, right? Cool. Now, since we actually said yes on this, now let's ask the next question. Why or what is your main outcome that pops right off your brain into getting into copywriting? Okay, so what is the first thing? I want to make money online. I want to have a monthly income. It's because I got laid off my job and I need to find another replacement. Is it because I have a business? Is it because that, I think it might help me? Maybe it's because I'm just curious about copywriting, right? Maybe it's just curious about copywriting. Maybe I have a passion for writing. So whatever it is, as fast as you can, type it down in the chat below. So I'll see where everybody is and then I can transition the call towards that. Okay. Upscale my real estate business. Great. Make money online. Bills to pay, feed and give a decent living. So make money fast. It's because I have a business. Okay, so scaling your business. Make big money online. Earn and learn new. Okay. To have an idea about copywriting. Okay, cool. I'm laid off my job. Great. Okay. I want to learn how to sell my product. Cool. Right, so as you can actually see, guys, what's happening right here is there's different kinds of people who are popping in, different kinds of outcomes that you guys want from copywriting, right? And it's great. Now, I may not be able to cater to everyone's goals or everyone's wants because each and every single one of you have kind of like different kinds of affinities and where you want to go in terms of copywriting. But my story from copywriting, for those who don't know, is that I got into copywriting by investing in a very expensive course. And what I do right now is I started writing copy for other people. They paid me for that, and that's how I made money online. That's this small idea here. You guys understand that? Right? And then it came to a point where the people who knew me like a year ago started to see that I was able to create really great copy for my clients, because my clients did not fire me. They kept working with me for not 1, not 4, not even 6 months, but until now, even more than a year, they still work with me. That means I'm producing them results, which is pretty hard to do in a very competitive space. Then I started to write copy for myself as well. Not to promote myself or anything, but just, it's more like an online diary of like the things that I go through as a copywriter, stuff like that. I put that on Instagram, I put that on Facebook as well. So I'm both ways right now. I write copy for my clients, and at the same time, I write copy for myself as well. Does that make sense for everyone? All right. Now, who am I going to help right now? Right? I can't help everyone, but I can help people get good in one thing, and that's getting good at writing copy, right? However, learning how to write copy is very different from learning how to write copy and learning how to sign copywriting clients are two very different things. Are you guys understanding where I'm coming from? Right? The first step is right? Cool. So yeah, Heba told me that, okay, you want to learn how to write copy, right? I don't know if that's a reason why you want to learn copy and to write copy, but anyway, so the first step always, guys, is learning how to write copy, right? That's the first step. That's why you're here. The second step is what matters the most, is what will determine how you are going to make money, right? Because I saw Jet and she was like, I want to learn how to write copy to scale my real estate business. Then the steps that Jet would take would be very different from a person who also wants to sign their own clients to help a business owner client scale their online business. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay. But at the core of it, you guys still need to learn how to write copy. It's just that this is how you actually promote this is how you monetize the way that you write copy. Does that make sense? Right? Cool. So I have a question here. Pretty good. I like it. So coach, do we really need to be very good in English to be a copywriter, or is it enough to just start copywriting by just basic English? That is very vague, so I can't answer that. So I'm not really sure what very good English is like and what's basic English to you. But as long as there's no wrong grammars, that's fine. Okay? But the moment you have really bad grammatical errors and twisted, words that doesn't make sense, then that's not going to be a great thing. Now, here's the thing, guys. English is just a language. Okay? English is just language. Filipino is just language. Tagalog is just language. French is just language. However, within everyone who is Filipino, everyone who is speaking English, there are hierarchies to the people who are at different levels of communication. Just because you can speak English doesn't mean that you're a good communicator. And also, it doesn't also mean that you're good at speaking in Tagalog. Also means that when you talk, people understand you or what you're trying to say, right? I know that you guys have probably that one friend or that one cousin or that one uncle or that one aunt who speaks the exact same language as you, of course. But for some reason, whenever they open their mouth, it's so hard to piece together what they're saying. Does that make sense? Right? Are you guys following me? Okay. Now, copywriting is more of the communication side. So you have to be a good communicator rather than to be a good English speaker. Do you guys get that? Okay, did you guys get that? Now, so so the big problem here, guys, that you gotta fix is that if you confuse people all the time, then you gotta work on your communication skills first before anything else. Because that means that the fundamental problem here is that confused people don't know what to do. Do you like to take action when you're confused? No, you don't. When you're confused, you either put on the handbrakes, you either take a step back, or you either run away from whatever it is that you're confused about. Right? Now, even if you're going to be a good at this is why, guys, this is why, even if you're a PhD or a Harvard in English, okay, a copywriter who is a good communicator can beat that Harvard, person who's at Harvard any day of the week, any week of the month, and any month of the year, over and over and over again. Because there are things that you guys read on research papers on the internet that are just way too for intelligent people that you guys stop reading because it's annoying and it's hurting your brain. Right? Would you guys agree? Have you guys ever read something on the internet that you guys were like, I don't understand like what this person's trying to say, or maybe it's too complicated that you started to run away from that instead? Right? That's a thing, right? Now going back to my point here, the first thing you guys need to do is you need to learn how to write copy, right? And of course, that's everything revolving around how to become a good communicator and how to become, a copywriter using the NESB and all that kind of stuff. That's learning how to write copy. But just learning how to write copy, just being good at copy is a very different thing from learning how to monetize that, how you turn that into money. And that depends on what your outcome is. Now, the cool thing is that, guys, I use a process that I go in deep detail with my mentees who work with me pretty closely, but we have what we call as the RMBC, right? So RMBC stands for research, mechanism, brief, okay, and copy, right? So don't care about everything else. Just focus in here, right? This is what I call as research. The copy, great copy is either won or lost in the research phase. That's why, and the reality of the matter of the fact is that if you suck at writing copy, chances are it's not because you suck at writing, it's because you haven't researched correctly, which means you're starting from scratch. A lot of people think that ideas just naturally just pop off your brain, the way you just like stare at the ceiling for like an hour and then, a magical idea will just pop. That's not how creativity works. So think of it this way, right? Now, I want to set the stage here. Who am I going to help, right? For people, it depends on the outcome, but I'm going to assume that your outcome is to make money online. As a copywriter who gets paid by other business owners to write copy for them. That's the client acquisition part. But in terms of writing copy, everything is going to be the same for everyone. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay. We're at this stage right now. Okay. So we're still learning how to write copy. We're still learning the foundations of writing copy and all of this great stuff. And so we're going to focus on that. But in terms of like, once we get to the how to monetize part, I'm going to focus first on people who can make money as fast as humanly possible. And the fastest way you guys can learn how to make money from writing copy is to offer your copywriting services to people who need them. Does that make sense? Okay. Is everybody making sense of that? Okay. So the first step here is, by all means, do not start signing clients if you don't know how to write copy yet, or if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. Do not write copy. Write copy, but don't start signing clients. Don't start reaching out to clients if you don't know how to write copy first. What do I mean by that? Why is that? Because what ends up happening, guys, is like you're pretty much like, that's the exact same thing as if you're a taxi driver who've never driven before, or probably have driven for 3 days in your entire life. And you're getting people and you're demanding people to pay you just like how they would pay other taxi drivers. But the difference is you don't know how to drive. Does that make sense? Right? Now, what ends up happening is, what happens if you, how would you feel when you have a taxi driver, you get into this car and he does not have any idea what he's doing. And he starts asking you, how do I use the clutch? So guys, so imagine how you'd how you'd feel if you had a taxi driver who drive, right, you get into the car, so like, I don't know this car, it's the first time, I've driven in my life before. How would you guys feel? You guys would pretty feel like the first thing you do is get out of the car, right? Because you want to protect yourself. That's how business owners will treat you. But it's not only that business owner will not shut up about you. Because if you do produce bad results for a business owner and you started to talk big because you know sales and you're like, hey, I want to sign you as a client, here's my copywriting work and stuff like that, and you don't know what good copy is, what ends up happening is, yes, you can get paid for the first time, but you'll get clients who are angry at you. They will demand refunds. And more than that, you'll start having a bad name in their space. Does that make sense for everyone? Now, is that what you guys want? Of course not. Right? Of course not. That's not what we want. So the first thing that we need to do first is learn how to write copy, correct? Now, in terms of learning how to write copy, even that is very broad. Okay, so let's start, getting more clarity, right? Now, how do you write copy? Now, how to write copy on what? So we have here, so the first thing that you can write copy for is products, right? It's products. So products it could be, give me a second, guys. Right? All right. So this is like what I think it's pretty interesting. Okay. So I have here a Starbucks coffee, right? And I don't know if you guys can see this or even read this, but can you guys read this? Never mind. Can you guys read that? Never mind. I'm gonna stop recording for now. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop my screen share for a moment. Give me a second. Stop share. Right? Can you guys read this? Can you guys read this or no? No? It's too small?
Not really, coach.
Can't you guys?
So small.
I wanna not lock my focus because I think it's because of this focus that's not locked. All right. Now, shit, I can't. Probably great example. But anyway, I think you guys can see me, right? Can you guys see me?
No, yes, coach.
For some reason, you guys can't. I'm seeing myself in a very weird black and white.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys see?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I see that, coach.
Okay, give me a second. It's becoming stupid again. Come on, man. Such a big bummer. A second.
Maybe you could take photo, coach.
All right, so I'm gonna wait for it to kind of like reinitialize itself or whatever the camera is, but I'm just gonna give you guys digital examples instead, because it's freaking stupid, and I can't waste my time trying to fix the camera because time is ticking. Oh, there we go. All right, can you guys see me now?
Yes, coach.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
coach.
As it reads right now, I'm gonna read this to you guys real quick, okay? And just listen to me instead. So what is this? So here's what Starbucks said. I think everyone here knows what Starbucks is. Whether you buy Starbucks or you hate Starbucks or maybe you don't, whatever it is, here's what they do, right? So we have here, this is like the actual product, right? Can you guys see this? Right? This is like the actual product. And right here, there's copy here. Since you guys can't see that or read that, I'm gonna read this for you. So essentially it says, every espresso beverage we handcraft for you starts with our espresso roast, right? Crafted back in 1975 in pair with rich steamed milk, it's a recipe for caramel sweetness, so right, it's never been changed, right? So, ooh, that's really great copy. So essentially, guys, what ends up happening is you can write copy for these kinds of things, right? And that is one thing that we call as copywriting, right? That is a very great way to communicate something that's so good, right? Now, one of the things that actually get me, really, really improving copy really pretty fast is that I pay attention to things that catch my eyes or things that are interesting for me. And I write that down pretty fast. And so I don't procrastinate on it. So if I have an interesting or catchy phrase or an interesting idea that I find or an interesting way of communicating something, what I do is I immediately put it to what I call my swipe file. We'll get to that later. But going back into context to what I'm trying to share with you guys, okay, I'm gonna read this again one more time. Okay? Every espresso beverage we handcraft for you starts with our espresso roast. Crafted back in 1975 to pair with rich, steamy milk. It's a recipe for caramelly sweetness so right it's never been changed. Okay, let's just take the time to appreciate the copy because that's pretty good copy. Right? And so what ends up happening is copywriting is mastering the language of speaking and communicating emotions. Right? They're communicating emotions. And so what ends up happening, guys, is that copywriting is not creative writing. Okay? It's not to impress the other person how smart you are. Remember the kid probably in high school or elementary, or maybe in high school or maybe in college, that they start to use very difficult to understand words to kind of like tell other people like, hey, I'm smarter than you because I know better words, right? That's not what you're trying to do when you're writing copy. The simpler your message is and the more straightforward it is, that even a sixth grader could understand, the more money your copy will make. Because it is easy to understand and people can understand what you're trying to say without confusing them. When people are confused, they don't do anything. Or they either stop or they run away. Does that make sense? Every decision that you've made with certainty with someone who sold you on something or pitched an idea was because they explained it in a way that made complete sense for you, in a way that you were not confused, in a way that played into your interest, in a way that got you probably excited or angry at something else, or maybe emotional towards something, right? But it isn't because they're trying to explain in a very complicated way. It's like, okay, 2 plus X, now you're lost, right? You guys don't do that. Is everyone following me? Is everyone following me?
Yes, coach.
Now, okay, so let's go back to the different kinds of niches in copywriting, right? So how do you actually make money as a copywriter, right? products and services. Now, how to write copy? You can learn how to write copy for products or physical products, right? So like, okay, so you can learn how to write copy for physical products. The next thing you can learn to write copy for is services, right? So you can write services. Maybe it's a company that, what are examples of services? A cleaning company, right? Maybe it's a group of people who clean, the lawns, or it's a landscaping company, right? So you can create, learn how to write copy for that. It's physical products, and it's also digital products. Right? So what are digital products? What you're actually getting right here is physical products and physical services. Are you guys following me? So these are digital products and digital services. They're like the four main, yeah. So someone just privately chatted to me on real estate services, 100%. But so this is like the four types of copy you can write for. You can write copy for a physical product, I mean, I can kind of zoom out, but I don't want to confuse you guys. Give me a second. Okay, so let's stick with, money-related copywriting. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure of that, because there is copywriting as well where you're getting to write copy for a cause. So there are copywriters who write copy for solicitation mails. So one of my mentors, no, I think it's not my mentor. It's like a friend of my mentor wrote copy for a cause. And that cause was that there were dogs that needed adoption, but no one was adopting them. So they needed funds to keep the dogs alive and in a healthy environment, right? So you're not really selling physical products or services or whatever it is, but you're selling a cause. And for that reason, you can write copy to speak to your target market, or the people who you would want to solicit a bunch of money for, to put donations on the company and to convince them to do whatever it is, right? So at its core, copywriting is about persuading someone to do something. Does that make sense? Okay. At its core, that's pretty much it. Copywriting is a way of writing things or saying things or communicating things in a way that would persuade someone to do whatever it is, whether it's donating money, whether it's voting someone, whether it's going from red team to blue team, whether it's switching from vegan to paleo, or maybe it's to go to convince you that rich people are not mean, or whatever it is. That's copy. It's convincing you of something. Is everyone making sense of that? Are you guys kind of following me at its core? Now, that's what copywriting is at its core.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now, these are the different niches where you can apply copywriting that will make you money. Does that make sense? And that is in sales. So that's persuading someone to take out their credit cards or their debit cards or the money, whatever it is, to give it to you in exchange for whatever it is. So whatever it is that you're trying to offer, right? Cool. So before I continue, are there any questions for now or no? None? Going once?
No, sir.
Going twice? 3? Nope. None? Okay, cool. Awesome. So let's continue, right? So we have here that we can write for physical products, we can write for, physical services, we can write for digital products and digital services. So there is someone who wrote copy for whatever the ad was on Facebook that got you to click the ad, and now you're inside ClickPro, right? So that is, QuickPro is on the digital services, you know, digital services space. So those are people who are, it's an online service, right? For example, if you are creating websites for other people, that is what I call as a digital service, right? So let's say I am a copywriter and one of you are my clients. I would write copy in a way that would differentiate you from all of your competitors so that then clients would either come to you instead of other people if they're looking for websites. Does that make sense? And because I can do and write that for you, what will then happen is you can then pay me for that. Is everyone following that idea? Right? Does that make sense for everyone? Now, the second thing is we have here what we call as digital products. Digital products are courses, PDFs, ebooks, blueprints, or it's like a digital asset, right? So maybe you're a photographer, right? And there are people who sell presets where it's just one button click and then your picture becomes nice, right? So you buy that. That's a digital product, right? So those are digital products. So what I can do is I write copy for that, and people who would go to the sales page would read the copy and they would be convinced that, okay, this is pretty cheap for what it's offering me, and then I'd pay in exchange for what I get. Digital products. Physical services are probably you guys writing for a landscaping company, right? So if you have a landscaping company, or maybe you have your own landscaping company, you can just pretty much write copy for yourself and then scale your business. Or if you have a client who owns a digital, who owns a landscaping company, what you can do is offer your service as a copywriter and get paid. Does that make sense? Now, the last part, which is where the most money is made, not really most money, but like it's still a big chunk of money that you can make here, is called physical products. Right? Physical products are, it's self-explanatory. So it's actually a physical product. It could be a soap, it could be a supplement, it could be, notebook, it could be a power bank. All the products that you guys can physically hold, that you guys have purchased, are called physical products. And you guys can pretty much write copy for physical products. Does that make sense for everyone? Are we now getting more clarity here on where do my services fit in? Right? Are you guys still following me? Cool.
Yes, coach.
Awesome. Not right. So now that we've set up the foundations, now we have what we call as NSB, right? So NSB is applied on all niches. I don't know why I wrote that on another page, but okay. So NSB is applied here to accelerate the emotions and the positioning of each niche. So when I'm talking to you guys about how to write, with the NSB as your guide, what that essentially means is that you guys will learn how to write copy for all niches with your NSB as your foundation, because it is present in all. Right? Are you guys following me? Now, what I'm going to do as well here is I'm going to start giving you guys the path of the different kind of like copywriting career paths that people would normally want to make. Now, there are upsides and downsides. It depends on what you want. Okay, so the thing about that is it depends on how much money you want to make. Okay, it depends on how much money you want to make. If you want to make at least $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per month and above, then you gotta ditch your own product first if it's not proven and if it doesn't have a market yet, and find clients who already have a great product, who have the money to spend on advertising, and then start helping them. But here's what I'm trying to say here. The reason why I'm sharing this with you guys, you gotta get really clear on I don't know why my video is lagging. Really, it's pretty funny. So what I'm gonna share with you guys is that you gotta get really, really solid on your reasons for learning how to write copy, because there is a process in writing copy in the RMBC method to even determine if your product is even worth testing or writing copy for before you even start wasting your time writing copy for your product or your service. So we have those. So essentially, when I'm working with a client who comes to us for help, we don't even care if they're like willing to pay us like $3,000 for the sales page with a 2-week turnover time. We don't really care if we know that the product is really not checking the tick boxes. And so the reason I'm sharing with that is like, there are people here who just want to make money, and that's great because that's where I'm coming from. So I'm going to help you guys. In terms of like the people who have your own products and people who have your own businesses, there's like a complex process that you guys have to like go through to kind of like assess of whether you want to spend time on your product, on writing your product, writing for your product or not. But it all comes down to this. Proven demand in market, and over number of people, number of people, or second, or the size of the market. What do I mean by that? So an example of that is that, okay, that is when you oh my God, get out. So here's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so let's pretend that you have a product right now, right? You have a product right now. Okay, so maybe you have an idea right now and you're like, oh, I want to solve this problem or whatever it is, right? So you does it solve that? Okay, cool, check, right? Now, do you have a prototype for the product? Is it the product already something? Okay, cool. Does the product already exist? Yes, cool. Now, is the product already proven? Now, my question is that, has the product generated enough sales on a certain demographic? What do I mean by that? So let's say you have a product that is going to help moms eliminate their pain point of trying to change, kids' diapers, right? Cool. So now you have a product, but is it proven? So what I mean by proven, do you have statistical data to prove that, if you show this to 10 moms, they immediately, maybe at least 3 out of 10 would actually buy that product. Are you guys following me? So
Coach.
if 3 people would say yes and you have the data towards that, then that's what I would call as yes, then your product is proven. The next thing is I would essentially write copy for that product and then scale it so that more moms would see it. Now, marketing is a game that's one that the more money you can pay to acquire a customer, you win. What do I mean by that? That means that let's say you have 15 friends who are moms, right? And you spend 2 weeks writing copy on a sales page, and you send that piece of copy to 15 moms, and out of 15 moms, you get 3 moms who purchase it for $100, or let's say 5,000 pesos, and you earn 15,000 pesos. And let's say you spend 2 months writing that sales letter, right? Cool. Now, so you have 15,000 pesos that you earn over a span of like 2 months. Would you say that's, something that you would want to spend your time on? I'm just curious. It's a yes or no question. So let me know in the chat. Yes or no? No. Okay. Nope. Nope. Yes. No. No. People are replying to me privately for some reason. I don't know why.
There's something wrong with the chat room. We cannot message to everyone. It's only for you or the co-host.
I have no idea what that is. Give me a second, guys.
Let me fix that one for you, Coach.
Can you Majo, can you fix that for me?
Yeah. I'm checking right now.
No idea why. So that was pretty weird. It was like, why is everyone doing sending messages to me privately? I have no idea. I suck at technology, guys.
I thought I'm the only
Oh, it's
one.
okay now, Coach.
Message to everyone.
Yeah, no, I kind of like didn't realize that really quickly, but I was like, why is everyone sending messages to me privately? Are they scared that their classmates are not? Okay, there you go.
It's okay now.
So I have no idea what happened. But anyway, the reason for that, guys, is this. So once your product's proven, it's a matter of, in the direct response world, it's all about an offer to an audience, right? What I mean by that, there are people who have different kinds of offers, and they haven't figured out their audience yet. So what we do is we kind of like test what audience will work for that offer. What I mean by that is this. So let's say you have a product that, let's say skincare, right? So it's skincare product. It's a new product that will eliminate oil from your face for a good 7 hours straight, no matter what you do. Okay, so are you guys following me? So let's say this is a product right here, and it's a facial cream that eliminates 6 hours worth of oil on your face, right? So that is what we call here as, and I'm selling this right now for, let's say, 1,500 pesos, right? Are you guys following me now? So maybe I'm just like, okay, I create this product. This is what I call an offer, right? Are you guys following me? An offer is basically a product or a service attached for something in exchange. That's an offer. Are you guys following me? Or are you guys not following me?
Yes, Coach.
Cool. Right. So now that we have an offer, there are clients that have offers, but they don't know who their audience is. What do I mean by that? They're going to be like, hey, I have a skin, whatever it is, like you can put it in your face, and then, and then I'm going to ask them, who's your audience? I don't know, anyone who wants it. Right. And they're like, so who wants it? I have no clue. Right. But some of the people are like, oh, well, I'm going to have an audience where it's teenagers, or let's say girls in their mid 25s who commute from work to home using jeeps and taxis and whatever it is, and there's so many things that will kind of like fuck up their face that they don't want to happen, right? So cool, that's our audience. Now I can then write copy targeted to that audience because that's a proven product on a proven audience. Does that make sense, guys? So then I would spend more time writing copy for that. But in terms for the people out here, you gotta also assess which is gonna make more sense for you at this current point in time. If you have bills to pay and you wanna make money fast and your product's not proven yet, then I would normally just go towards what the market wants right now, or where you can help your copywriting services, helping clients, sell more of their products on a market that would keep paying. And here's an example of that. Let's say you have a product for that, and let's say it's a soap. Maybe you have a soap, right? Okay, it's I don't know, like whatever soap that is. I don't know what kind of logo. That's a soap. I'm just gonna put a label. Okay, so that's a soap, and it's made from
Papaya soap?
no, not papaya soap. That's too generic. That's like we'll find something weird. Made from malunga leaves. I don't know if that exists.
Hyaluronic acid.
Langka.
Right? Oh yeah, that's great. So jackfruit as well, but whatever. Right? So let's say we have here malunggay leaves, right? And you've tried offering it to dads, you tried offering it to moms, you tried offering it to teenagers, college students, corporate professionals, taxi drivers, whatever the fuck it is. You've been trying to offer it to everyone, how it's better than everything else. But for some reason, people are just not buying it. All right? And sure, right? So now you have two choices. You can either keep pushing to write copy for it. Maybe you'll find a way to write. Maybe you'll convince someone. Maybe you'll not. But let's say you convince 3 people who will pay you like what, 1,500 pesos times 3, right? So you make 4,500 pesos, right? Oh yeah, whatever it is, organic malunggay soap, right? So, cool. But the problem is, you wrote the sales page for a month and you only made 4,500 pesos and you have bills to pay. Would this option make sense for you? Well, not really. Now, my question is for you guys is that it depends on where you're at right now, because there are people out here who maybe have a proven product and you just don't know how to market it, to a more, a bigger audience, and that's fine. But maybe your problem right now is that you don't know how to write copy because the product sucks. If that's the case, I will not write copy for the product. So in all honesty, you should only write copy for products or services that you believe in. Okay, does that make sense for everyone? You should only write or sell for products or services that you believe in that's really good. Okay? Now, if you don't believe in your product, ditch your product. If you don't believe in your service, ditch your service. We can go into another debate or a conversation beyond why you believe in your product or why you don't believe in your product. But at its core, if you don't believe in your product, you don't believe in your service, don't write copy for it, ditch it, put it on, bury it 6 feet under the ground. Now, with that said, the fastest route to becoming very good at copy, is first getting really clear on what your goals are in copy, right? Great. So what are your goals in copy? Okay, for example, Jet, I think remember Jet talking about she wants to be good at, I think scale her real estate business. I'm not really sure how I'm not really acquainted with the real estate business, but what I would do there is, I think I don't know, but because in real estate, it's maybe doing your research on, around safety. Jet can actually start researching about her market, and her market is for, rich people. Right? So it's rich people, and what do rich people want? They want safety, that they're not around a neighborhood that's, notorious and beside killers or rapists or, drug dealers, right? Right. So Jet can, start learning how to write copy. Hey, I have a property in the heart of, I don't know, a subdivision that is only 2 miles away from, a school, right? And if you have kids right here, now imagine what it would be like, spending 10 minutes to reach school, no hassle, stuff like that, right? Because that's where Jet is actually at. But Jet can only intentionally become better at writing copy because she knows where she can become better on. Because the more vague that you are on your goals, the more you'll never achieve them. What? Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. The more vague you are in your goals, the more you'll never achieve them. I want to become good in business. Good is vague. Business is super vague. That's why people who say, I want to become good in business, never end up being good in business. Right? But people who are like, hey, I want to earn $10,000 in the next 60 days, selling my services as a digital, as a photographer, right? specific. I want to earn $10,000 in the next 60 days, specific time, specific niche, specific service as a photographer. Whether, okay, sure, maybe he fails and he ends up only making $6,000, but that's a better improvement than people were saying, hey, I want to improve in business. I want to, improve stuff like that. I want to, cool, whatever that is. So the reality of the fact, guys, is nobody in the world can help you if you don't know what you need help with first in the first place. Now, does that make sense? So, so what I'm sharing here is this. You got to get clear first on like what kind of niche you want to get good at. Okay, so going back here. Okay, so what is your outcome in writing copy? Is it because you're passionate in writing copy, right? Which I don't think that's the case, because I think QuickPro's offer is revolving around, kind of like making money online. So most of the people here are trying to learn skills that, you can get paid for in the online space. Is that what I'm hearing from you guys? Or am I, just talking for myself? Or are there other reasons why you're getting into QuickPro? But if that's the case, give me a yes if that's the case. You got into QuickPro because you want to learn how to make money online. That's pretty much it. Right now, you don't care about however it is. But as long as you know that you can do that, you'll do it. Is that what's going on here? If that's you, drop in a yes on the chat. Only 2 people? Okay, interesting. I thought there was more. 3 people. 4, 5. By the way, Majo, for some reason, people are still DMing me privately. I don't know if I'm doing something different now, but okay, people are not doing okay. I'm just making sure. Now, the thing is, guys, depending on where you are right now, will also affect what's more difficult and what's easier for you guys. So, if you have a product, you have to assess first on is the product already proven, and do you have a means to show that to enough people, right? Because this is a big question a lot of copywriters face, right? So you're offering me your copywriting services, and you say you're good at copy, then why not just write copy for yourself? That's a good question to ask, right? Would you guys agree that's a good question to ask? Here's a copywriter who's trying to promote. Right. So Maria Teresa Valdez gave me a question right here, and I like this question because what if the product is not yet proven? Now, my question for you, Maria, is that what is your outcome for that question? Is it that you want to prove the product, or is it that you just want to make money? Right? Because based on your answers on that, my solution for you would be very different. Because what if you have a very emotional attachment to that product, then your goal here is not to make as much money as humanly possible. What I would normally do then is instead give you ways to test that to the market. However, if you want to make money, then I'm going to give you guys, then what I would normally do is as a copywriter, what I would normally do is look for other, for opportunities where people are spending their money and helping clients in that niche sell their products to even more people, so you can make more money that way. If that makes sense. Now we have the question, as in to build a business. Cool. A product is not a business, but if you want to prove a product first, you got to validate the idea if people are willing to pay for the price in exchange for your product. Does that make sense? And you need data for that. That means that if you don't have enough money, okay, to send it to enough people to validate the product, then I wouldn't really go where you're at right now. Because essentially, there's a lot of money that has to be spent to test a product, whether it's something that people would want. One way that you can test it before you turn that into a business is actually putting it as an ad on the online space. So what I would do is create a Facebook ad campaign where it's promoting your product, and then the call to action, or what people will do if they're interested in the product, is that they can kind of hit you up on Messenger, right? So if you have enough, but then you kind of have to prove as well who's your market for the product, because a product it's not anything until it has a market. So for Maria Teresa Valdez, is that you'll never get to a point where you will be able to scale the business or turn that into a business if you don't even know who your market is. So yeah. So once your product is kind of proven, there's so many ways to go about it. You can even go about kind of like, if there's similarities to the product, what I would do is like seeing what the other competitors are promoting to. But that's it. Okay, does that make sense for everyone? But the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is you guys need to get ultra clear first what your goals are as a copywriter. Is it because you want to just make money? My goals was super simple. My goals was that, and even in the past before I was like, oh, I want to have an online business. And I thought that as an online business, I had to have a product and I had to have inventory and that I had to have a team to actually make money online, right? In the end, that was not what I really wanted. What I really wanted was I just wanted to make at least $4,000, $5,000 US dollars per month, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 per month, circulating around that every month, where I can like travel when I want to, or I can travel in the Philippines or probably around the world where I want to, working from anywhere around the world with nothing but my laptop, right? So I loved that. And then I started to realize that, what I could do instead is I could just, fuck around with, whatever I'm trying to do right now, or I can just like learn how to write copy for other clients who are already in a position to scale and get them to pay me. So once I got clear with where I want to go, then I started to take the steps that would actually get me towards closer to that goal. Does that make sense? Because for so many people right here, giving me an answer to, I want to get into your class, Coach Clint, because I want to learn how to write copy. It's not an answer for me at all, because it's not, you're telling me what, but you're not telling me why. So like your why is still a what, but it's not a why, right? A why is like, I want to learn how to write copy because I know that a lot of copywriters make money being paid as a copywriter, and I have bills to pay. And as fast as humanly possible, I want to make money in the next 30 to 60 days. I don't care how it is, but I know that I can do it. I want to write copy. That's a great why that I can help. Or it's because that, hey, Coach Clint, I have a product right now and I have a market. It's just that I have no idea how to scale this product. Those are people that I can help. It's called specificity, right? But right now, what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to help people right now who have the outcome to become a copywriter like me, getting paid by clients to write copy for their services. And does that make sense? That's the client acquisition part. But in terms of the foundations of how to write copy, everything is this kind of like similar, right? We're going to use Nesby, and then we're going to involve ourselves with, with research. Now, by the way, before I continue, because I was rambling on for quite a few minutes, does anybody have questions to this point? No questions? None? 3? 2? 1? None? Okay, cool. Now, how do you actually become good at writing copy, right? So, oh my God. So if you want to write, the fastest way to learn how to make money writing copy is to get into a niche where a lot of people are already spending money. Does that make sense? So what do I mean by that? What do I actually mean by that? So when people are spending money in a niche, that means money is flowing on that niche. That means if you can help make the money flow faster by helping clients make more money, that means clients would pay you because there's an ROI. Does that make sense? And it's a lot easier to find clients because there's a lot of clients that you can pick from. An example of that is, let's say you're in the dating niche, right? So it's like, it could be teaching men, how to date correctly. It could be in the personal development niche. I don't know this about personal development now. personal development niche. It could be in the fitness and health, right? Just forgive my ugly handwriting, guys. Fitness and health, whatever that characters are. BizOp or business opportunity. It could be sports. It could be music. Right, so there's so many different kinds of niches that you guys can penetrate into. And back in the days when I started as a copywriter, a lot of people were like, "Okay, coach, but I'm not passionate in this, let's say in the personal development niche. I'm more passionate in the business opportunity niche because I'm more like, business stuff." Would you and I asked this question to my mentor. Would you rather recommend that I go with a niche that I'm more passionate about, or whether I should go for a niche where most people are spending their money? And you know what my coach said? It depends. Right? It depends. And I was like, depends on what? Depends on your current situation. Because if you need money right now, then stop bitching about your passion. Start getting into a niche that will make you a lot of money. Make a lot of money in that niche, and then you can start pivoting towards the niche that you're actually passionate about. Because if you start going your passionate niche, right, just being practical, bro, you're gonna have a very hard time signing a client when there's not much money being spent on that niche. Are you guys following me? Right? Are you guys following me? Is this, by the way, helpful for people? Is this giving you guys more clarity as well? Because I really want to help you guys, but I'm able to kind of like assess how to help people based on the questions they ask, and the questions that you ask will tell me where you are at your journey. Which is why I like questions. So just keep throwing me questions. And that's really great because since you guys are asking me questions, now I can give you more clarity beyond your questions. I always do that most of the time as well for my mentees. Now it's clear for you guys. Now the next thing is, how does the journey look like for a copywriter who serves other clients like me, and how much money can you actually make, right? So in the world of copywriting, there's no such thing as cheap or expensive. Right? So in the world of copywriting, there's no such thing as cheap or expensive. It just depends on who you're talking to. Okay, right? So we're gonna tackle that. So this is more of like a kind of like a clarity call for most people who want to get into copywriting. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown of how much money is actually made in copywriting, depending if you're a freelancer, a freelancing copywriter, and who it's for. Right? For copywriters, it's a good alternative for people who are OFWs that want to have location independence, but want to replace their income. OFWs pretty much make a lot more money than average Filipinos. They range about $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, US, which is around 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, 250,000 pesos per month for the OFWs. So it makes sense for them. Number one, because all you need is your laptop and an internet connection. However, in terms of copywriting, there are different forms of copywriting, as I said, right? However, when you're getting into the copywriting space where you're trying to drive sales, you get paid more. Or when you're trying to drive more leads for a business, you get paid more. Because without leads and without sales, a business cannot grow. So you can charge up to 1 million pesos for a sales page. People would still pay you if you can do the math for them and have the track record to prove your worth. Does that make sense? At the same time, you can also charge as cheap as 5,000 pesos for a sales page. People will probably not take you seriously, but at the end of the day, there's really no such thing as cheap or expensive in the world of copywriting. It just depends on who you're talking to. Does that make sense for people? An example of it is this. If I sell a Ferrari to someone who wants a Toyota, of course it's going to be expensive, right? If I sell a Ferrari for someone who is in the middle class, of course it's going to be expensive. They just can't, justify, like, why would I even want a Ferrari? I probably could rent one for a day, for whatever, but like, why would I want a Ferrari? That's expensive. Like, it's 14, 15, 16 million pesos, right? Why would I dish out that amount of money? But when probably I'm kind of like selling a Toyota to the Prince of Dubai, right? Or whatever it is. Prince of Dubai, guys, why would they bother with a Toyota, right? Of course, they're like, even a Ferrari is cheap. They could probably buy Ferrari every day and they're never going to get broke. But it depends on who you're talking to. But as a copywriter, the income goes in like this. And it depends on what your passion is. But it goes like this. For the first, if you put in all the work and the steps, you can pretty much like sign one client. One client is equal to around $1,000. No, not $1,000. Maybe $500 per month to $4,000 per month. Well, maybe let's be realistic. Per month, and that's USD. So per client, you can sign a client helping other clients scale their businesses online and get paid around 25,000 PHP to 250 to 125K per month per client. Okay. So, if you have 2 clients, then you just got to double all of these. So that's like 50K to, 250K, right? Depends on like the services. How soon can you achieve this? Depends on like how good you are with your grammar, how good you are with your communication skills and stuff like that. Could take you around 25K per month is super achievable in like a month. Like 1 month, if you work really pretty hard, 25K is pretty much super achievable per client. If you want to make 50K, all you got to do is just sign 2 clients and you'll get 50K a month recurring if you deliver results for the clients. Because if you can serve one client and get him to pay $500 for you, and you spend 4 hours a day for the client, that's fine. It's great, right? 25,000 pesos. And if you do the exact same thing for another client, that means you have 2 clients paying you for 25,000 pesos, and that's 50,000 pesos. Does that make sense for everyone? Or is anyone following me? Take note, this is copywriting services for other clients, like what I do. And you sign them online from anywhere in the world. But is anyone understanding where I'm coming from? This is like the math right here. Can anyone give me a yes, or is everyone not hearing me? Just curious.
Coach, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one is this amount. Is that per project or like how?
So great question. It depends on your deal with your clients. But if you work with a client and work out a monthly retainer deal for them, you can easily go for a monthly retainer for email marketing, for doing their Instagram captions, email marketing, doing their Instagram captions, posting for them on Facebook, on their socials, stuff like that. You can have a retainer deal. But that's a good question you got to ask, because sometimes it's per project. Sometimes you have a one-time project and you get paid for that for whatever it is that you charge. Those are also one thing as well that you can do. So that's also why, like, when I got into my copywriting intensive, for people who are in my copywriting intensive right now, one of the biggest things that I got them to do is like they want monthly recurring income, which means that right now we're focusing on email marketing and Instagram captions and going really deep on that, because that's where recurring income is. And recurring income is more reliable for most people who are used to the corporate world, because they want some kind of like security in the online space. That's why I'm training them on a specific outcome. But that's also because a lot of them were very clear on the forums on like what it is that they want to become, like what is their goals to become a copywriter. And I wanted them to become honest as possible. So again, those are where we're at, because in copywriting is a very broad space. You can pretty much like convince people that Duterte is a bad president. It's kind of the copy because you're kind of convincing people. But do you make money with it? Not necessarily. So it depends on what industry you're in, what kind of like value you provide to a business. But here's the thing. If you help a big business make more money, you will make more money as a copywriter. An example of that is like I have a client who pays me $2,000 per month to write 3 emails every week. That's like 3 times 4, that's 12 emails a week. And that's $2,000, right? But in copy, it's really not about, your clients don't care how long it takes for you to write 1 email. Your clients don't care about how long it takes for you to write 1 sales page. Your clients don't care about all those kind of stuff. What your clients care about is the results that your copy provides for their business. And I mean, I'm at a stage like I really couldn't care less about a product or a service. I just really want to make a bunch of money writing copy. So I just pretty much chose a niche that I wanted to penetrate, and that's the personal development niche. So those are the people who value personal growth, those kind of stuff, and I started writing for those people. I started to make a bunch of money using that. But okay, right? So that going back to our journey, right here.
Coach?
Yeah.
With that situation of yours, that one that you said you have a client that they're just asking you to make email, something like that. Do you have that what you called monthly retainers fee?
Yep.
Or that will be different?
Yep. I have a monthly retainer fee for my client. It's simply because it's a repetitive thing. Well, maybe not repetitive copy, but it's a repetitive thing, which means that I keep writing to his list every single day. His list has like we have 27,000 readers on his list. And that's where, like 27,000 people on this list. I send an email about 20% open, the list, and I'm not a good math. But let's say around, I don't know, let's say 2,000 people click the link on the email, right? And that link leads to a landing page. And let's say 200 people pay $10, right? So that's already $2,000 and just like 1 email sent, right? So your clients really couldn't care less. But of course, I had to learn as well how to write really good copy in my emails that would get people to click links. And that's where the value that I provide. But anyway, going back to this drawing right here, this is basically 100%. This is basically like where you can earn around $500 to $3,000 per month, right? As a copywriter. This is like very possible in your first 3 to 4 months. Begin as a copywriter. If you're serving clients, writing copy for them. Does that make sense for people? Okay. There's different kinds of deals in copy as well, and I'll show you how you guys can actually kind of like negotiate your way around those deals. The next part of that is when you can start getting up to $3,000 to $6,000 per month, right? And this is like around 1 to 2 clients, right? Does that make sense for you guys? Okay, that's 1 to 2 clients. This one is around 3 to 4 clients. Like clients with repetitive work. Of course, there are clients that varies because they only need like 1, 2 emails a week, which is not really much work. But yeah, so that's achievable in your first 6 to 12 months, right? Writing copy. And there are also offers where you can pretty much, by the way, this is USD, by the way. So maybe I'm doing it wrong that I'm sharing this in USD. Maybe I should, kind of like write it in PHP. So around 25K to 150K per month in PHP. This one is around 150 to 300K per month as a copywriter. Anything beyond that, and you can't do it alone. So this is where freelancing ends. This is the space of freelancing right here. Okay, that's the space of freelancing. Anything beyond that is not freelancing anymore, but you guys have to team up and become an agency if you want to make more than 300K per month as a copywriter. It's just, I mean, there are a few people in the world that can pull it off for serving 7 clients. But you don't have a social life anymore because you're going to be writing, probably 10, 12 hours a day, managing so many clients. That would be very crazy. But, if that's something that you want to do, you got to get clear as well, right? But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is how much do you actually really need to make, and what do you have to sacrifice to live that life? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to make 500,000 pesos per month, or 600,000, or 700, 800, 1 million, or 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, whatever it is. But is it really worth it? Does that make sense? Because maybe you just really want to pay your bills, buy a bunch of stuff, like 300,000 or 400,000 pesos per month is a considerable amount of money for a Filipino. But sometimes maybe you make 400,000 pesos per month and 600,000 pesos per month, and you don't really even feel even happier at that point in time, because your lifestyle really won't just change. Are you guys understanding, where I'm coming from? So that's why I'm like, you guys really need to get clear first on where you are at. So, but if you just want to become a solo copywriter, serving your clients, like 5 clients already is like already too much, and that's going to give you guys a lot of leeway and a lot of like balance between working as a copywriter and at the same time enjoying your life, maybe traveling around the world, whatever it is. But by all means, if you go beyond that, you just really can't do it on your own, and you're just gonna have probably you can transfer from one location to the next, but that's only feasible for people who have a true passion for copywriting. So these are feasible for people who have a true passion of copywriting, or have a true passion to become a business owner. Does that make sense? And does anyone know who Elon Musk is, the owner of Tesla? Just wondering if you guys know who he is. Right? Cool. Right? So for those who know him, if you really understand, like, his lifestyle is really not for everyone. It's already been like 3 or 4 or 5 years, and he's never taken a single vacation in his life. He doesn't spend any time hanging out with his friends. Most of his time he just spends, fixing his team, scaling his business, expanding, so many stuff, probably building rockets and, taking us to Mars, or whatever it is. The reason I'm sharing that with you guys is he has a bigger purpose now that every single one of us cannot relate with. Right? So he has a life right now. He has taken on a super big responsibility, and he has his own vision where he actually has the passion to do whatever it is he's doing, which means that for anyone here who enjoys, playing computer games, or enjoys, whatever it is, that's the emotional reaction that Elon Musk feels when he's actually building his business and working in his business. So for him, he hustles, but it doesn't feel like work because that's his passion. Does that make sense for everyone? And yeah, so that's where I want you guys to get very clear first on what your goal is, because if you don't get clear on what your goal is, then you're going to be like everyone else who transfers from one course to the next course, to the next mentor, to the next mentor, to the next thing, who transfer from Bitcoin to trading, to e-commerce, to what are the other things in the online, doing surveys, to online teaching, to whatever it is. And that's a very bad place to be in, because you're bouncing from one place to the next, from one thing to the next, blaming the courses, blaming the mentors, blaming everything else, without giving it too much time. But the reality of the matter, the fact is that the reason why is that you have to get clear first on what your goals really are, and then finding the best means to that outcome. For me, copywriting for me was like, okay, I'm pretty good at understanding things. A lot of my friends didn't get confused when I communicated things to them. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just do copywriting. The next thing I knew, it was like, I just thought about it, like, copywriting can be stressful at times when you can't come up with a big idea. But, at the same time, things that I learned in college were also as equally as stressful. But people don't pay me 100,000 pesos per month for those things. So I was like, within as months passed, I started to then start loving copy because, it became easier and easier and easier for me the more I kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. Just like driving, it's becomes annoying at first, it becomes frustrating and overwhelming at the beginning. But once you keep doing it over and over and over and over again, it becomes so repetitive that you can, your brain has this subconscious like tick to it that, you can just speak, create ideas nonstop. So that's pretty much it for my class right now. So here are my tasks for you guys. In terms of copywriting, I'm going to hold you guys accountable to this. I'm going to ask you guys what your goals really are in terms of copywriting, and I want 1, 2, or 3 sentences from it. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys, what is your goal copywriting in the next few, what is your goal in copywriting? So here's what I want to do. Like So number 1, guys, number 2, and number 3, right? So number 1, how much money do you want to make in terms of copywriting? Well, what's your first goal? I don't want anyone to write, as much as I want anyone to write 1 million per month, I don't want that. I just want, what's realistic for you right now that would put you at, that you wish you would work really hard for in the next, let's say 60 days, right? So how much money in 60 days, right? That's 1. 2, why? Why? So yeah, okay, cool. So let's have Jezreel, he says 60K. Why 60K? Why not 70? Why not 80? 100? Why not 40K from copywriting? Whatever it is, right? Does that make sense for anyone? Why? So money in 60 days, then why? Do this in the next class. And then third, why copywriting? Right, so it's a pretty interesting questions. So there's 3 questions that I want to ask, right? So that's pretty much it for me, guys. And I want you guys to get really, really clear on that because I cannot help each and every single one of you guys keep asking vague questions. But I want you guys to keep asking questions because when you're vague, I can help you get clearer on that vague question, which is what's happening in the past few on this class, which is why I just keep asking questions as much as humanly possible. Don't judge yourself. I'm not judging people for where they're at. I'm just opening you up in more questions that would probably open your mind even more. But that's it for now on this call. On the next call, what's going to happen is stop share. Okay, so what's going to happen in the next call? On the next call, so now that we have the NESB, I'm going to teach you guys the applications of NESB and different kinds of projects that you guys can take on to get paid. Does that make sense? On a monthly retainer. I mean, that's it, because I can't help everyone right now. There are people here who want to write copy for their own products. That's a completely different process from teaching someone how to write copy and then get paid writing copy for clients, right? So I'm going to focus on that a little bit for now, but the foundations are going to be the same. We're going to use NESB, and then we're going to use a little bit of the basic frameworks of RMBC. RMBC stands for Research Mechanism, Brief, and Copy. One of the things that really are one of the things that really separates, a copywriter from a bad copywriter is that, the ability to do research. And to do research, you have to be a detective. You need to, number 1, know what you're looking for, and number 2, where to look for what you're looking for. And I'll teach you guys how to do that in the next few days. So in the next class, we're gonna tackle that, because right now I think you guys have more clarity on why you guys are even here listening to learn how to write copy. And now you have more of a sense of okay, I don't even know how much, you guys could probably make website development, because by that's not my lane. Maybe you guys probably make even 70,000 pesos per month or 100,000 pesos per month, in the website development space. If that's what you want, that's okay for me. But right here, my value stands like copywriting, and I want to help people becoming better copywriters in terms of getting paid to become, become marketing expert and copywriters, right? So you guys have a class at 8 p.m. I'm gonna stop at 7:50. I'm gonna open 9 minutes, or probably even 8 by the time I'm finishing talking, for questions, queries, guidance, things that you need help with, things that you need support with. Maybe you want to tell me about your current situation. Maybe you want to tell me about something you did in the past before it didn't work. Let me know. The floor is open for Q&A until 7:50 p.m. Cool. So yeah, anyone here wants to open up? And do you guys have any questions? None?
I got a question.
Cool. Heba, is that you?
Yes, I'm really sorry. I have a lot of questions because I really
Yeah, go ahead.
want to be a copywriter. I have a product, and I'm actually just trying to prototype it in my own business right now. But I have a goal or a plan to work for someone that I could paid higher, get paid higher.
Could you repeat the question again?
Uh, I'm just trying to tell you what's my situation and what's my
Okay, cool.
goal. So right now what I just want to do is just try practice copywriting in my own business, my own small business, my own Facebook page, something like this. But I really want to improve because I really want to work for someone who could pay me a higher amount. You know what I mean?
Cool. So I want to give you some clarity on that because there's two situations here. Number one, you want to learn how to write copy for a small business, and then you also want to learn how to write copy for another person, right? So there's two different things, or no?
I have my business.
Okay.
Right? And I have a small business. Now I'm trying to learn copywriting to improve my business.
Cool.
And then later on, maybe if I have already my team in my business, I want to work for someone. Like if I become very very good in copywriting, that I could really get paid with a higher amount. Like I want to have a brand, in the future. I don't know. That's my dream, because I feel like copywriting job really will be the one to bring a lot of money for the companies. So maybe big companies could pay me a higher amount if I could provide them a good service.
So quick question for you, Heba. What is the main reason for you working on your business right now? What is the main reason for you scaling your business right now? Is your business right now, you want to scale it because you want to scale the business? Do you want to scale the business because you want to make more money, or is it that you want to scale the business because it's a family thing? Do you want to scale the business because it's feeding other people as well? Or do you want to scale the business because it's your passion? Like, what's the story behind that?
Yeah, it's like a mix of. It's not really primarily because of money. I have my husband, and I'm really contented. I'm not that much, but it's just like I want to achieve something, and it's just like I want to be someone. I want to be a legend, like that.
Cool.
So
That's nice. Yeah.
I want to be known
Now we're talking.
like,
Okay.
in the future. I don't know if it will happen, but I'm trying my best, and
Yeah, 100%. So with that
like
said,
I want to be like you, like you are branded already, right? Like Clint, if your Clint is working for you, then you must be someone like it's special, and you have a brand already. So I want to be like you, some kind like that. And just I have a question. This is my question.
okay.
Like, do you have any checklist of skills or knowledge or abilities that I could say, or I could confidently say that I'm ready to be a copywriter for someone else?
It's not really like a checklist of, yeah, well, there are like, I don't really have like an actual checklist in the back of my mind, but
Like first, maybe we should learn English grammar, something like that.
yeah,
Or
100%. No, of course.
we should
But
learn.
yeah, so number one, depends like where you want to be. But if where you want to be is like writing copy for clients, by the way, can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still
Hello?
hear me? Quick question.
Am I don't know if I'm the one who's lagging.
Yes, coach. We can hear you, coach.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
I'm just, my freaking stupid. Uh, well, I mean, I just,
We can hear you, but we cannot see you. Ayan.
Okay, there you go. So, in terms of like copy, I'm gonna tell you my story though. So, in terms of copy, I got into a very niche space of copy right away. So, I didn't get into copywriting where it's just no, what's copywriting, and then where should I be in copywriting? So, I got into this mentorship program where it's like the promise was like the freedom lifestyle. The freedom lifestyle is like where if you want to live a freedom lifestyle, traveling around the world, making a bunch of money, that's just enough to finance that freedom lifestyle. Probably where you can spend money in expensive restaurants, be in expensive hotels and stuff like that. Then you could probably just make $7,000, 7,000 US dollars per month, and then you can finance a lifestyle. So that's the goal of that. And the way you can do that, it's pretty much just writing copy for clients, doing their email marketing for them. But now that I've transitioned from that to become more advanced, that I'm now taking on full-scale funnels and sales pages, what I can say for you is that you have to become a very good communicator, and then you have to start writing copy for the people in your niche. Because if you start practicing writing copy for your own business, it's very unlikely that the skills that you learn being applied in that business will also can be applicable. I mean, sure it can, but it's not like too much, because if you want to make money with big clients, their businesses are probably 100 to 200 times bigger than your business. Probably they're in different niches. Probably it's because they're much more complexity behind that. And practicing how to write copy for those kinds of businesses will help you even more than practicing to write copy for your own businesses. Because if you practice to write copy for your own businesses, then you can actually help businesses that are similar to yours, but not businesses that are also big. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Heba?
Yeah.
So if you start practicing writing copy for your own small business, then you can probably help other businesses that are like yours to scale, but you can't help the big ones. So that's not gonna give some cred. What I would do, so like in terms of the checklist, I don't have a checklist, but I do have like things that I'm looking for in a great copywriter. Number one, good English. Not like really great English, not exceptional, but great English where you don't really do the grammatical mistakes. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just becoming a good communicator, meaning that your thoughts and your ideas don't fight each other. It just makes sense. And then three, just becoming, yes, Grammarly will help, but at the end of the day, copywriting is not about English speaking. It's about communicating. So learning how to communicate the newness in your product, communicate that your way is easier is what you're going to be working with, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me, guys.
Thank you, coach.
What I'm also willing to do as well instead is I'm probably going to put in a Google Forms where you guys can start asking questions in advance, and then I'll answer them in advance as well. So what I'm probably gonna do that. But yeah, I think everyone, that's it for me. I want to respect as well the time of the coach in the next class. I hope you guys got a value out of this. If there's one thing I want you guys to do again, number one, get super clear on your goals as a copywriter. How much money do you want to make? Why do you want to make that much amount of money? How soon do you want to make that amount of money? And then why copywriting? If that makes sense. I hope you guys had an amazing call and value from this call. I gave you guys some clarity on what's really possible if you get really good copywriting. And yeah, without further ado, see you on my next class on Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. if there's no conflicts in schedules. Peace.